Juice in the morning. Juice in the morning. Juice in the morning.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the 2018 live Juice in the Morning and Paulie Sleepers podcast. We did this last year. We're doing it a little bit bigger this year. We have 6 mics. Right now, we only have about 5 people joining us. But we have, what's the name again, Paulie? Coming to join us from Bills. John Porter's coming from the Bills Mafia to join us. Hopefully we can get somebody to go through a table. I don't know. I don't really feel comfortable sending a Colts fan through the table.
Don't. Please don't.
No, I think I'm really excited. This is a podcast that we're doing just for fun, so there might be some fantasy relevance, but the podcast isn't going to be up until probably tomorrow or this afternoon anyways, so we can just talk about whatever we want to talk about. So first off, to start with, thanks for coming, guys. Thanks for being here, Smiley. Thanks for
no problem. Thanks for having me.
Taking Jackson's spot.
Oh, no problem.
Paulie's over there sharing stuff on the social medias. He looks very focused.
Yes. Determined.
Odie, go ahead and pick that mic up. You were on here last year.
What's up, guys?
Welcome back.
Thanks,
How are you doing today, man? I love that Colts jacket.
Leather, man.
It's dope.
It's nice.
But anyways, so what are you guys most excited for the tailgate, for the Colts game? Like, just kind of give me some of your guys' thoughts on that.
Man.
Derek Anderson?
Yeah. I mean...
Signed off the street.
It's been a rough start to the
if you want
campaign
to, go ahead
this
and grab
year,
it as well.
So I don't really know. T.Y. Hilton's back.
Yeah,
I hate T.Y. Hilton, but he's back. So I mean, I guess.
How could you hate T.Y. Hilton?
Oh, come on! Any real Colts fan should know that T.Y. Hilton is as soft as they come.
No, come on.
You can hear boos from the crowd. We actually have a crowd today, guys.
So, and I'm right. I don't think I'm the only one, but I think I'm the only one in our group that feels the way I feel. So,
well, what do you not like about T.Y. Hilton, the ghost?
I just got 3 yards. I'm going to get up and celebrate like we just won the Super Bowl after every catch.
Okay.
The look at me mentality. I got a couple guys that I listen to quite frequently here locally in the media that will tell you that last year when things were bad, you go in the locker room and it's just a joke. They act like they're 17-year-old kids, and they don't care whether they win or lose.
All right, Smiley.
Being in the locker room last year for one of my old jobs, it was eye-opening to me. You had a lot of leadership with John Simon and John Bostic and all those guys, and now them leaving. It's a big eye-opener, and I've heard this locker room is much better, but I would have to agree with you. Talking with T.Y. several times last year and Rashad Melvin, they both kind of had that ego that just kind of you didn't really like that much, but T.Y.'s athleticism on the field and the way he goes about it is a little better than Rashad Melvin was, so I think that's why he's still here.
The skills I'm not going to take away from him. The guy has skills. Don't get me wrong. I just don't like how he goes about doing his job on a weekly basis. We had 2 receivers. They were both Hall of Famers that will both dwarf the career T.Y. Hilton could ever dream of having, and they didn't act like that.
They didn't have that personality. No. So what do you guys...
And think about it this way, because I listened to a lot of Dan Le Batard. He was talking about the other day. Name the last Super Bowl winning team that had a diva number 1 wide receiver.
What was?
I'll wait.
I mean, I guess did Randy Moss take his diva shoes off?
They didn't win. They lost.
That's right, with the Patriots.
They did.
All right, yeah, that's right. But so we're definitely understanding your feelings about the T.Y. Hilton. The backup question that I have is, how do you guys feel about Eric Ebron? I mean, what is he, like number 2 in the league at tight end scoring in fantasy football?
He averages a touchdown a game. I mean, that's enough said.
Yeah.
Is he close enough to the
mic? Yeah, pull it up just a little bit closer, but you're good.
Hey, it's Paulie. I was just tagging everybody. Odie, thanks for coming on the podcast. We're going to stop talking about your hatred for T.Y. Hilton. And move on.
I thought we already did that. I thought that was Juice's segue.
Eric Ebron, man, he wanted to be a Colt. I love that he reached out to us. He's got the dropsies like the rest of the team right now. It's a festering virus that's going through the squad. I mean, if you look at Ryan Grant, who's out right now, the first 4 games, his catch rate was like 90%. He can't catch it. Like Chester Rogers and Marlon Mack both started off with 2 big drops last week. But Ebron's got that red zone locked down, and like John just said, I mean, he's averaging a touchdown a game. So, yeah, I think he's the second or third tight end in fantasy football.
I think he looks really good, especially Andrew Luck's needed that. He's needed that bigger target in the end zone, something that he hasn't had for the entire time I think he's been here. Has he ever had a big target in the end zone that it was actually worthwhile?
Reggie Wayne.
Well, yeah, but Reggie Wayne
he wasn't very big though.
Dwayne Allen. Yeah, who's now a tight end for the
He's always
Patriots.
injured. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I mean, Ebron plays through those injuries, which I like to see a lot.
I never felt like Dwayne Allen was even that big.
Right.
He's a big boy, but he was always hurt, so he never really had an impact on
They
him.
mainly used him to block, and then used Fleener to receive.
Yeah, Fleener, who the worst. I mean, I had him on so many fantasy football teams, and he let me down every single year because he was that kind of guy that's going to catch an insane circus catch, but something that's right in the breadbasket he should catch and run with, he would drop. Does
he have a job currently?
I don't know. I have no idea.
He's in New Orleans, but I think he got cut.
I think he's out.
I don't think anybody picked him up. There is some breaking news since our podcast on Wednesday. You've got the big trade, Carlos Hyde going to Jacksonville. Definitely wanted to talk about that, guys. And there is a big Twitter.
Well, you're talking about Nick Chubb.
Exactly.
Yeah, big Twitter explosion over Nick Chubb. And
people getting some chubbies over Chubb.
Yeah. I posted that, some of these guys needed to rub one out. For sure. But it's not that, definitely a good pickup. And Melvin Gordon is out today, so that game is going on right now. London game.
What's going on in that game? Anybody got any updates on that?
Somebody needs to check in with that. That trade is impactful. I like Duke Johnson right now, and especially in PPR. They gave him a nice contract extension. There's a kind of a rift maybe going on there, and it might be a Moneyball situation. The narrative that I've seen a few times is that the owner wants to see more, wants to get more Chubb, and
too many jokes to be made.
Yeah,
with that name.
Nobody's made a Johnson joke yet. I mean, come on, though. Seriously.
So, Chubb's a good pickup in fantasy, but I was seeing some crazy trades and some crazy, dynasty polls. He's more value than James Conner in dynasty, and I don't agree with that.
Who's saying that?
That was a poll, and 2/3 of the people said that Chubb was more valuable than...
That's a ridiculous...
and it was a pretty
Can we get in their league?
But, and I could be wrong. I mean, he did have a crazy game the other week where he ran 3 times for 100 yards and 2 touchdowns or something. I mean, so, I mean, he could do it, but I watched a lot of his preseason, and I lean the other way with it. I'm not, too excited about him. I'm excited about Duke Johnson in that game. But we are live at the Colts game, and T.Y. Hilton is back, and we're playing Derek Anderson today, who's thrown 7 touchdowns in the last 7 years. Started back.
So he's got one a year.
Yeah. He doesn't have. He's due for a touchdown. He doesn't have one.
Where was he at last year?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure he was on his couch.
Browns back in the day and Panthers back in the day. If you remember the Braylon Edwards years with the Browns, and
that's Odie's favorite player.
I thought we were done with Braylon Edwards.
So LaShawn McCoy is the one, and we do DraftKings too. So I definitely played the Bills D and LaShawn McCoy in a few. And I'm a Colts fan. We're here, but I like to bet with my head. And McCoy has gashed us before. He's gotten 23 to 25 touches a game.
How do you feel though about the Colts run defense? I feel like aren't they a little bit higher rated? I guess
they've they've
shut down
quieted down. They shut down Adrian Peterson in his house, and they are. But I think they'll definitely use McCoy as the focal, of that offense.
I think Hunt's coming back today too. Marcus Hunt. He's huge. On
he's one of my favorite guys to watch.
Darius Leonard came back last week and had 9 tackles and a forced fumble. If you play in IDP leagues like we do, and John and Odie are here from the Russian Roulette team, and they're they're kind of the farm. We're the farm. The listener league is the farm league for the
rest of it.
Careful though with Leonard. He appeared on the injury list Friday. He might not play today.
Right.
I did not get an update on that. That would be a big hit for us, and I would say if Darius Leonard's out, that's definitely a reason to play LaShawn McCoy. To get some questions out of the way, somebody asked Browns D or Bills D, and I just said it. I definitely like the Bills.
What time are they playing? Because this isn't going to come out until after the Colts game.
Oh, right.
But I mean, we are on the Twitter and we are on the Twitter live.
We are live.
We're live,
Yeah.
baby.
Oh yeah. So that question I was supposed to answer live on the show, and you're supposed to listen and question. So
hopefully he's paying attention.
And then LaShawn McCoy or Jordan Howard. Josh wanted to know, and we did LaShawn McCoy on that. And yeah, we're excited. We're here. We got John Porter from the Bills Mafia coming on.
I see some
Soon,
Bills across the tailgate lot setting up over there. We might have to go talk some shit.
Yeah.
I'm looking at them right now. I'm doing my rock stare where I'm very intense, just staring at them.
You look scary, dude.
No, I don't. I'm the biggest pussy in this podcast, probably. But no, I think it's awesome. We got
John's
biscuits
in here. I don't know about that.
Oh yeah. We've got some biscuits and gravy. Paulie brought some beautiful Bloody Marys. Also, Paulie, thank you for the tickets today. That's something that I wanted to bring up. I appreciate you hooking us up with some club-level seats.
Oh,
wow.
No problem. You're going to love those seats. Josh and I have sat there before. I get them once or twice a year from the company. That's Dryer Reinbold.
Come see him. Pick up a car.
And Dryer Reinbold in Greenwood.
Get you some wheels.
Yeah, they're nice. And the GM found out that we were doing the podcast, and I asked him. I've never asked before. I usually end up with the seats once or twice a year, and very grateful. But and he said he was using them, otherwise he would. But he had plans, and then yesterday came in and said, "I'm going to make your day," and handed me the seats. And the first thing I thought is, when Josh and I and Jeff and Odie, when we go to the game, we're usually standing up in the Bud Lounge area.
Right.
So
is that a fun area? I've never been there.
Yeah, it's great. I heard they took the tables out, but it's just standing. It's just. I don't know. It's for people that smoke like us that like to go outside and smoke.
You're way up there. It's a cool view. It really is. If you look outside, it's a pretty cool view.
Yeah, it is. It is. So, we spend so much time out of our seats that we thought that you would be able to appreciate them for all that you've done for Paulie Sleepers. And when I started this, it was just YouTube, and it was just me, and then it was YouTube and Jackson, and then we've kind of grown from there because you've given us the platform to do it, man. So we're growing, and I want you to grow with us. And Paulie Sleepers hit 1,000 followers this week on Twitter, and Juice in the Morning hit 2,000 this week on Twitter.
We've got a little bit of a reach here. We got a little bit of a reach.
Accomplishment that we both hit, and that those axis hit at the same time. So
well, it's important for anybody listening to share, to interact with us, because there's been more interaction with the Juice in the Morning and Paulie Sleepers podcast than the Juice in the Morning podcast by itself, by far. I think fantasy football is a great avenue. I think it's something that a lot of people are into. I mean, everybody plays. There's people that the PTO Unlimited podcast that's been on my show multiple times, they all participate in fantasy football, and their podcast is more, and their personalities are more like gamer, like movies and pop culture type stuff. But they play fantasy football, and they want to hear what other people are thinking. They want to and obviously, I like to say that I think that we have a very good a good team, because I'm winning in leagues, we're winning money. So it's all positive. So it's not like we're a bunch of schmoes giving out terrible advice. What were we talking about right before? The players that we were talking about before we got on here, the Chubb thing. We're telling people, don't get so excited about that.
Yeah,
you got to see it. You got to see it first. There's other people out there, but the thing is that you've talked about this multiple times in the podcast. The running back situation is so scarce right now. So a couple of people from another league I'm in were texting me and talking shit to me, because they were you missed out on all of this stuff happening, you didn't pick anybody up. And I was actually, dude, I was at work, I wasn't paying attention, I didn't see all of this. And they're yeah, you missed out on 3 different running backs that we think are going to make an impact now. So who are some running backs that are going to make an impact because of that trade?
I mean, definitely Duke Johnson and Nick Chubb's value go up, and I'm not saying that Chubb's he's going to be bad. I mean, he could be all right. I'm just saying that people are acting like Jim Brown. They cloned him or something. But the other situation to monitor is because we talked about that. Yeah, and T.J. Yeldon now is sharing with Carlos Hyde, so his value's gone down a little bit. And but also Marshawn Lynch is out for a month. So we talked about it on the podcast this week.
I picked up what's his name, Richard.
Jalen Richard. Okay, good.
I thought I read he was out for the year.
Right.
Yeah. So did you see what I was tweeting about
Lynch was
that,
out
or
for the
did
year?
you did you see what I was tweeting about Richard, or did you?
Yeah, well, because of our podcast, you guys were talking about the fact that he's probably going to get more of the passes in the backfield.
Yeah, he's catching a lot of balls. So I mean,
and what's the third guy? In Raiders,
Doug Martin.
Doug Martin.
Yeah.
He's available in like every league.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I would definitely take Richard, especially in a PPR format.
So Richard or Martin?
Richard, yeah, all the way. So with all this, stuff going on with the Browns and the Jaguars, I don't want people to miss out on, like, Richard will be a solid flex. Very, very solid flex. He's going to get probably north of 8 targets a game.
Well, when you're starting running backs for that league that I'm in is like Bilal Powell and Nyheim Hines and Jalen Richard.
Yeah.
I'm struggling a little bit running back wise. So.
Yeah. No, I like Richard out of those 3 for sure. Nyheim Hines.
I like Hines.
Had some bursts.
I talked a lot of smack about him preseason and then like the first couple games because he wasn't looking that good. And then all of a sudden I feel like he's figured it out.
He's a special player. North Carolina State, played running back and wide receiver. And Odie and I were talking about this before the game, man, before we started here, how Marlon Mack's, coming back is hurting Hines, but that they could use him and put him out there. And, I mean, their wide receivers aren't, everybody's dropping balls, so why not put T.Y. out there with Nyheim Hines and Eric Swope? And
I think I heard Odie talking
Eric
about this
Ebron. I'd like for you to jump in there.
I hear about how, offensive-minded and how creative Frank Reich is and how he was the genius behind the Philly offense last year.
Right.
And I just think that, for years this team was kind of handcuffed by our coaching. And
well, what I used to say was they never made halftime adjustments.
But beyond halftime adjustments,
definitely.
they weren't even ready for the game.
I know, but I'm just saying the Colts went into a lot of games just even last year where they were in contention to win the game,
You're right.
but they didn't change their game plan at all after the halftime, and then they lost.
So, but my thing is, let's get creative then. You know what I mean? Look at what St. Louis is doing. Do you think
they're playing with a lot of guys off the street,
right,
so might as well
all
throw
guys
something
that,
in there.
Unfortunately, they may have some talent, but they were looked at as negative guys.
Yeah.
Watkins and Cooks and the only guy they really had, well, 2 guys, I guess, are Kupp and Gurley. That was a no-brainer. Everybody in the league would say, I want that guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And former Bill Robert Woods has been definitely a very good...
Agreed.
Very
Can't
solid play.
But back to what we were saying with the Colts, I just wish that we have guys. We have bodies. We have 4 able-bodied, lanky, athletic tight ends. Put a couple of them out wide with a Nyheim Hines, line Mack up in the backfield, and then, put Hilton out on the other side. Now you've got some... Okay, they may not have to double-team anybody on the right side if Hilton's on the left by himself, but they're going to have to pay attention to that side of the field.
Right.
So if your guy T.Y., if he's really that good...
Hey, I didn't say he's my guy.
It'll give him a little bit more space on the field to do what he does, to get up and do the whole...
I do like the T.Y. thing.
I knew you would.
I will say this. Going to the Texans game earlier this year and watching T.Y. when he got hurt, the offense was way more explosive. The crowd was way more into it when T.I. was there, and clearly was Andrew's favorite target. So I think that brings a confidence back with Andrew. We might be able to see a little more smooth offense, so to speak.
See, I disagree. I think Andrew's the type of quarterback that he's going to exude confidence whether he's throwing to any time.
I mean, they are throwing to guys that I feel like they signed off the practice squad last
Andrew
week.
will never admit it, but in a perfect world, if you asked him his honest opinion of T.Y., I'd be interested to hear what he said.
He would never give you his
He
honest opinion.
wouldn't. I know, but I have a feeling that Andrew's a no-nonsense kind of guy that doesn't like the shit either.
And he's the worst in, like, interviews. Like, it's just like, oh, well, I don't know. I mean, I'm real happy to be out there. And, like, it's like, come on, Andrew. Like, give us something.
Useless sound. Look it up. Useless sound. It's the funniest thing. And they have Andrew on it every week, and it is hilarious.
Useless sound, where do you find that? YouTube?
Again, I'm plugging somebody else's podcast, but the Left Guard Show does a montage of useless sound from every NFL week.
Okay, so it's like
coaches and players, and But the star of the show every week is Andrew Luck.
Did Jameis Winston show up when he was eating
fingers,
the W?
Eating W's.
Weirdest thing. Like, that's the guy you don't give the opportunity to give those pregame speeches. Like, come on. Like,
right.
Jameis Winston's not the pregame speech guy.
There was big here locally this week about, Andrew Luck's demeanor.
Yeah.
And people getting upset that he's so happy-go-lucky. And
I'm glad you brought that up. There's a lot of shade being thrown on him that he should be acting mad,
right.
and getting mad.
That's not him, though.
And I think that he's excited to play football again. And we talked about a lot on some of our other shows about just what's happened with that long recovery and kind of what was in his head. And he didn't want to play again, and that's kind of come out. And he even has acknowledged that there was a time he didn't know he wanted to play again. And I think he had an epiphany, and it's when he took that first hit in the preseason game and he got up and he just gave that look that was like, yeah, this is what football is. And he's, obviously, the team's struggling, but he's been trying to do everything he can. I mean, that line, when Costanzo was out, it was hurting. I mean, he's back. But hopefully with the weapons back and Ty back, we'll see. The Bills are number 3 in the league,
right?
Defense. So
really quick,
they're
because we're going to be looking at this after the game. This podcast isn't going to be up until after the game. What are your guys' predictions for this game, score wise? Start with Smiley. We'll just go in a circle and give some points on why you think the boys in blue are going to win or the boys in blue are going to lose.
Well, win at home, I think that'll give the team confidence to get going. So I'm going to say the Colts win 34-28.
34-28 from Smiley.
34 on Buffalo. Oh, yeah. Wow, Smiley.
I like that.
Yeah.
All right, Odie, what's your prediction?
I think it's going to be an ugly game. I don't think we're going to see a lot of scoring on either side. Let's go 17-13. Good guys.
Can somebody pull up the betting lines, like the over?
Yeah. Colts are favored by 10. Last I checked,
10 points.
Yeah,
really?
That was yes. Yeah.
Are you
I
serious?
think it was as big as. I think it was as
or
big
were
as
they
11.
being given 10 points?
No, they're the favorites.
So, John, what's your prediction, man?
Oh man, I was thinking around 31-24. Colts.
Do you guys know Buffalo hasn't given up 300 yards
I'm gonna
all year?
I'm gonna go way lower. I'm gonna say Derek Anderson gets his 2018 touchdown, and I'm gonna say it goes to Zay Jones. I'm gonna go Zay Jones over Kelvin Benjamin. I think LaShawn McCoy gets 2 in on us, and it ends up being 24-21 Colts.
So everybody's going Colts because we are all Colts fans. I'm just going to be a realistic person, and I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I think it's going to be 17-10 Bills.
Okay, so
there you go.
Before, I wanted to say something about what Paul said, and it kind of is great that you picked the Bills to win. It kind of.
I'm just trying to be the contrarian view.
So we have a friend in our league who's the ultimate pessimist, negative Nancy, as we like to call him, Dodina. Love him to death, but he basically said the other day, while we were getting pummeled, that Andrew Luck should do the Carson Palmer and basically just say, trade me or I'm retiring. How long can we have this poo-poo roster?
Right.
How many years can we have no talent around Andrew Luck before he finally does just say, to hell with it, I can't do this anymore. Either get me out of here or I'm done.
Well, back to your point on what you said about just his demeanor. I think he's the kind of guy that he's going to last a lot longer than somebody else in his situation. He's going to, I think, stick around. I think he's going to have faith in the higher-ups. But, I mean, we are getting towards that sink-or-swim moment for him, like where he's, I would say, over-under on 3 years.
All the other guys that are doing well and successful right now, or not guys, teams, excuse me, for the most part, other than New England.
Those young quarterbacks?
All of them on rookie contracts with monster rosters around them.
LA Rams.
We missed out on that.
That's a big theory from the Pat McAfee show, not to also talk about other people's podcasts, but Pat McAfee...
I love the boomstick.
He brought up the fact that he thinks that that's the way the NFL is headed, where we're gonna get a quarterback that's a young, strong athlete, can throw the ball down the field, run our system, and then when he goes for that big contract, we're just gonna let him go, and then we're gonna pick up another guy and build around that next guy. Like, for example, in St. Louis. Like when he's done, they're thinking
it's L.A. now, not
or L.A. Yeah, you're right. God,
You mean Kurt Warner?
Yeah, exactly.
Kurt Warner?
Smiley, you did that last week.
Odie did it earlier when I was off the mic. You guys didn't even notice.
Yeah. But anyways, like his theory is when his rookie contract is over and he's going for that big money, they're going to just cut him loose and get another guy and keep building that strong team around that quarterback.
Is that coach just like, I mean,
Sean
what have y'all seen comparatively to something in the NFL? I've never seen anything like it.
What, you talking about L.A. Rams?
McVay. I mean, he's so young.
He's
and just
so talented.
He's
so
listening to the same tunes that the team's listening to. He's going to the same bars.
They're on the groove.
The
thing that I saw that just blew me away about McVay was, did you see where it was just a couple minutes where they asked him about plays from previous seasons?
It was amazing.
And they described the play
to a T.
Yeah.
Every play, every route.
And he knew exactly what happened on every play, the players, the guys that scored, like he's still got all that in his head.
Dating back years.
So he's revolutionizing, and that's what we were talking about earlier. Like and I've tweeted about it before. There's dinosaurs in this league that need to be left in the dust really soon.
But they all have each other's back. That's the problem. They all come from the same.
They do. Like Mike McCoy, who just got fired, who was just doing a horrible job. He'll get a job. And there should be more youth and open-minded, open spread offense type things going on.
Well, especially, too, with the rule changes.
I did want to touch what you guys were talking about with Luck. I'm going to say I don't see him going anywhere.
No.
So,
But if it continues the way it has continued, three more years of getting his ass beat.
He's done after that, yeah.
It would take him requesting it, like Odie said, and I don't think he'll do that. I think he'll stick with us, and we've been good by him. And I just see him by, not for what we've done around him, no.
You've been good by him?
Not from what we've done around him, but we let him get through
I like having Odie on here to challenge you.
It took him way longer to come back than you are, quote unquote, supposed to,
right.
or usually are. So, it was really rough around here when we didn't know what was going on with that. And, some of the fans hopped off the bandwagon and said, trade him. But
I was one of those. I'm sorry.
He's a Colt, man, and he's back.
Let's let Brissett.
He's going to, be the starter. This is a long take, guys.
How about we let Brissett play the first half? Because we saw last year he can get to halftime with a lead. And then we let Luck come in for the second half because he's so good at coming back from being behind.
Save him like Reggie
Miller.
We'd
never lose. We'd win every game.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Save him for the playoffs like Reggie Miller, where Reggie Miller would miss half the season.
Easy now. Reggie never missed any kind of
he missed
significant time. Except for when he got his eyeball busted.
Towards the end, he started sitting out a little bit more and saving himself for the playoff runs.
Remember in Auburn Hills when he had that cast on his hand? Oh, my God. He's just covering everybody up with his cast on his arms. They're just dodging beers.
If we wait till the second half to put him in, though, does he play the second half as if it's the first?
Right. Exactly.
Who knows? So literal, John. It was a joke.
I know. It's great.
It's a joke.
But, yeah, so I'm actually going to take a break. So do you guys...
I've got an idea we could talk about if you're going to leave. I was just going through Twitter and Schefter, and before I follow them on Twitter, and they just came out with the Dolphins trying to trade Devontae Parker, and the Raiders and the Cowboys trying to trade for Amari Cooper. So, what are your guys' thoughts on that?
Ooh, Amari Cooper to the Cowboys.
I like Cooper a lot.
He's been on the trade block supposedly here for a minute. Devontae Parker, I definitely throw shade on that guy. So I'm
you don't like
not
Devontae Parker?
I'm not interested in wherever good for
Less
the Dolphins if they can get value for him.
Right.
I don't.
Not a Parker fan.
What about John Gruden? What's everybody think about that old man? He's lost his freaking mind.
I think Paulie said he hasn't coached yet in 2018.
No, I said, remember when John Gruden said he would never coach again? Well, he meant it.
I do like that tweet.
Do you think he's really going to give the money back? Did you guys hear what he said? He said, if I fail at this and I don't succeed and I'm not successful, I'll give every penny they paid me back.
I think he could. I think he could.
That's
because he's probably a rich man.
Yeah. I respect that if that's true.
He won't do that.
No, he won't. I'm just saying, but that's the type of guy.
It'd be impressive if he did.
Chucky.
Yeah.
I just miss him calling it in the booth, man. Like, he's one of my...
Yeah, that Monday night crew's gone downhill.
Man, I really
He's
do.
one of my favorite guys.
I didn't think I would, but I
Dude,
really
and
do.
I am fine with
Witten.
Witten. He had some great insight the other night in the game. He sticks with
Pulled the
kid.
rabbit out of his head. That's what he said.
Yeah, he did.
He meant to say hat. Then he stuck by it. He screwed up, and the guy in the booth looked at him, and he said, "Nah, man, that guy just pulled a rabbit out of his head." He said it again. He didn't care.
I don't have any response for that. Like, I mean, we make up some statements every now.
Do you want
and
to
then.
just pause until John gets here?
Yeah, let's go ahead and pause for now, and we'll get the next section going soon.
Or do we?
All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to the second half of the Juice in the Morning podcast, live from the 2018 Buffalo Bills Indianapolis Colts tailgate. We have Paul with us. We have one of the, I would say, part-time co-hosts of the Juice in the Morning podcast, Ryan Kelly. How you doing today, man?
I am lovely.
I'm liking that shirt. That's like the practice shirt, isn't it?
Thanks, man. Yeah, I like it. It's nice.
So where did you get that one?
I think I got this at TJ Maxx.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey,
TJ Maxx special.
Bargains.
But also with us, we've got from the Bills Mafia, John
What's up?
Porter. How are you doing today?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
So what's your prediction? We got the predictions from everybody else besides Ryan, but we'll get his in a second. What's your prediction for today's game?
Man, it's going to be low scoring.
I'm hoping for it to be a
Juice
high
is with
scoring.
you on that. He
Bills-
said that he went the lowest on the prediction.
Bill's offense sucks. So, and we all know that. I mean, last week when they played Houston, the week before that, since the beginning of the season, we can't, for some reason, break 13 points. So, I'm going to go with 13-10 Bills.
See, I said 17-10.
13-10. It's going to be low scoring.
You went the lowest out of all of them.
I mean, we got Derek Anderson. He hasn't played significant football since 2008.
So how long you been a Bills fan?
My whole life. I'm
All
from
life.
Buffalo. Yeah.
You from Buffalo?
Yeah, I'm from there, so I'm not a fair weather fan. I've been forced into it. So
How long you've lived in Indy?
I've been in Indy for 12 years now.
Man,
Yeah,
thanks so much for coming on. You got a Bills tattoo too?
I got two.
You got two?
Yeah, I got both of them. I got the throwback on the left bicep and the retro on the right bicep, and I've got.
You got yourself in a position to not really show them off, or you're not really wanting to.
Is that
It's
your,
cold, chilly. It's a little
favorite
chilly.
NFL team?
I mean, like
Yeah, just a little.
if a Bills guy says it's chilly, then I mean we got some legit chilly. We had some weather
Oh,
last
that's
night
cold.
too. There's 20,000 Indianapolis residents without power. Is that what you just said?
20,000
The wind was
Hoosiers.
blowing like a tornado.
Yeah.
I was walking out of CVS, and I walked past this like aluminum trash can, and then I walked past it, and all of a sudden I hear boom, and I'm like, what the hell? I look back, the trash can was like slid off the curb, slammed onto the pavement. Looked like I did it, so
It was.
I had to get out.
It
of
was
there.
pretty nasty. It was pretty nasty.
was rough.
So
Brian Titus has joined us as well. How you doing over there, man?
Titus, Clash of the Titus.
Drain the swamp. How we doing?
So Titus owns one of the most underrated teams in the Listener League. It's at what, 2-4?
2-4, most points scored.
Yeah.
Something to brag about.
Have you adjusted the lineup weekly?
I have just made a trade recently. Let me know what the listeners think. Julio Jones and Ebron for Sonny Michel and Michael Thomas.
I like the Michael Thomas.
So the Paulie Sleepers team are the other half of that. We got Julio to pair with Matt Ryan, which we like, and we got Eric Ebron, who I have in my other big league. Getting ready to see him smash. I think he gets a touchdown today again. And we needed to split. We had Michelle and James White, so we needed to split those guys up.
Porter says no Ebron touchdown today.
Yeah.
T.Y.'s gonna mimic what DeAndre Hopkins did last week, and he'll get one. T.Y. will get one.
Well, we talked about it earlier. I realistically, I've seen McCoy gash us before, and I was talking about this. McCoy's been getting 23, 25 touches the last two games. I think if you guys have any chance, it's with him, and I think he'll get in once or twice today. I really do. He seems to be coming back. They were using him 5 to 8 touches there, 10 touches in one game, which is not what you do with LaShawn McCoy. But he must have been nursing back some type of injury. I don't know, what the background is on that. But he's back and healthy again, and excited to watch this game. I'm excited to see what what our team could do now with Ty back for sure.
So we talked about Ty in the first part of the podcast, and it was all Colts fans. I'd be very interested to hear a non-Colts fan's opinion, because you just compared him to DeAndre Hopkins, which to me is insane. DeAndre Hopkins is one of the top 5 wide receivers in the
Odie, how did you get Titus's mic? You were on here already.
So what I meant by that was he's going to mimic what DeAndre Hopkins did last week, as in about 70 yards and about a touchdown.
I don't think T.Y.'s a top 5 wide receiver in the NFL?
No way.
He's close. He's close.
He's close to top 10. He's scraping.
When he's healthy,
10.
he's top 10.
Yeah, when he's healthy, he's top 10 for sure. Yeah, he's been top 10.
And the Colts firing on all cylinders, actually giving some time for Luck to throw the ball. I mean, he's the ghost. That's what he is. He disappears. The defenses can't keep track of him.
Keyword, disappears.
I mean, I'm just saying. I agree with Titus.
All right, so we got some hams going in the beer realm right now. Ryan, I appreciate you jumping on the podcast. What's your how do you participate in fantasy football?
I do not.
Do not.
I did one year, and I really did not enjoy it.
You didn't.
It was too much work.
You're a more casual football fan.
Yeah, I don't want to be forced to watch a game.
Yeah,
I want to watch a game. You want to watch the game. Plus, I am a huge fan of college football.
Oh yeah, me too.
With that game last night.
Oh man,
Ohio State.
Can we talk about that? Purdue, Ohio State.
Yeah,
more fantasy.
Someone tried to start it, but
there's no way
everyone's like,
more fantasy football players should watch more college football because you're scouting future guys that are on your team.
Right. Notre Dame was on a bye this week, so I didn't really watch a lot of college football.
Like garbage.
But
how did Purdue pull off that win?
Notre Dame got to win on their day off though, because while they're all at the Garth Brooks concert, Purdue's whooping that Buckeye ass, and they might go down to number 3. They should go to 3.
John, do you play fantasy football?
Yeah, smiley about my record real quick.
How's
I'm not in that league.
You're not in that one?
Oh wait, hold on. My prediction. Yes, my prediction. 21-10.
21-10
I'm just gonna
Colts.
slide that in. Yeah, 21-10 Colts for sure.
All right, I like that.
It's conservative.
Yeah, I pretty much dominate every year in fantasy.
You are pretty good most of the time.
So what's your strategy? In drafting? Do you have anything that you go in with?
I always go running back heavy because I feel like it's so much harder to find that talent later. But this year was the first year since I've been playing fantasy, probably in 10 years now. I had the number 1 overall pick, so I went with Antonio Brown. So I didn't go.
And he hasn't been as Antonio Brown as in the
but
past.
he's pretty consistent.
Still good, though.
I mean, yeah, he's still. Everybody I have is pretty consistent. Even Gronk, he was my next pick because it was a snake league basically. So yeah, I picked 1, but after that I picked 20.
Yeah.
So
who are you playing instead of Gronk today?
Jordan Reed. So,
okay. I like that. I like Jordan Reed.
I haven't played him all year, but I had
CJ Uzoma.
Yeah.
In a couple leagues that I had Gronk in.
I had Gronk and Ebron in 2 different leagues, and
that's a good stack there.
And it's been really hard to every week. I'm like, man, I should play Ebron, but it's hard to not have Gronk starting for you.
Can't flex him.
I mean, I can. I was actually this week was going to be the first week I was going to play Gronk and Ebron. Gronk at my tight end, Ebron at the flex, but then Gronk's out this week. So
why do you think Ebron's going to do so well today?
I just like him. I mean, he's been good all year. It's consistency.
Yeah,
it's
he gets
consistency
a ton
and
of looks
and luck.
and a ton of red zone looks too.
It's his end zone security blanket. That's where he's going
in the red zone.
Yeah,
yeah. They practiced it a lot in training camp, and
I love the fade. The fade route.
Yeah, that's definitely a big part of it. And he's scored now 3 times on that fade.
Yeah,
and he's just such a big body, and you drop it in there. I think he catches the ball a lot better when he's not facing the quarterback. I mean,
right.
I don't know. It just seems to me like when he gets those over the shoulder fades, that's money. But also he's been just a huge security blanket with no wide receivers to speak of that are consistent at all, and now they're dropping like flies. Ebron's always been there, and no Doyle. So Luck likes to throw to the tight end a lot, and he's the one to throw to. Swope gets hit. I mean, Swope's had 2 or 3 touchdowns here in that time frame too. So it might be a while before we see Jack Doyle again. I heard maybe after the bye, him coming back. But yeah, we're all high on Ebron because we've seen him kind of save a lot of drives for us and score a lot.
Yeah, I think that him having that target there is awesome, but. Let's get more on the Bills side. So, Derek Anderson, was he actually playing, or was he just sitting on his couch before you guys picked him up?
Sitting on the couch. Yep. We brought him in for more of a mentorship type role for Josh Allen. He probably would have stayed third string all season. I mean, last week Josh Allen would go to the sideline and he went straight to Derek Anderson just to talk to him. So
his injury, I've heard, is unusual for a quarterback, and he may require like a modified Tommy John.
John's, he's not going to have any surgery as of now. What they said, he's technically like week to week. So.
What about them trading for somebody right now, like a Luke McCown, even, or?
I think they're going to. Well, so our head coach came from Carolina. Our GM's from Carolina. Derek Anderson's from Carolina.
Good point.
I kind of think that they just like rolling with who they have. Like, we're not really that kind of team that's going to – I don't think they like to panic or anything like that, even though me personally –
Make those types of moves.
Oh, yeah. I think all three of our quarterbacks are probably the worst three quarterbacks in the league.
Well, the classic question is Colin Kaepernick better than Derek Anderson?
He's extremely better than the other three that we have in our
then why has nobody reached out to that guy?
Oh, yeah.
And Brock Osweiler, who's starting now.
Brocktober.
And
I noticed
several other starters and a lot of backups. I mean, I'd say probably a handful of starters and pretty much all of the backups.
But being a Colts fan, we can't say anything either because we had Curtis Painter starting for us for a little while.
Oh, good Lord!
I love his laugh.
He changed his name to Nathan Peterman and signed with the Buffalo Bills. So.
We were just talking about Painter last night. We were watching the Purdue game, and I was like, man, they got a lot of solid players because Purdue has a lot of solid athletes this year, and then my buddy's wife was like, what are some like the best players that came out of Purdue? And I was like, we're like Drew Brees. And she was like, yeah, besides Drew Brees, we're like, oh, Curtis Painter.
He's the next on
legend.
the list.
And Curtis Painter.
Fullbacks now.
Dude, so bad.
Mike Allstott.
Yeah, there you go.
Mike Allstott. Yes, I would put him
Allstott.
up there. Absolutely.
I used to say back in the day though when Painter was playing for the Colts, I was like, he's got to be sucking some GM's dick or something because he is literally
hometown hero.
He's literally throwing these picks like he's just like he's getting hit, throwing it right up into their hands, and then also at the same time, it's like the not to like get too deep into that kind of stuff, but like the what's his name, the Hollywood guy that was forcing people to have sex with him Harvey Weinstein. So there's a podcast I listened to that made a very good analogy because he's like, acting like you can say, hey, I need you to like do this for me, and then you get this part. Football's not the same way, but it looked like it was the same way for Curtis Painter. Like, hey, I need to get in there and start, and the guy's like, well, let me whip my dick out, and we'll take care of this, and then you'll be starting on Sunday. That's a long stretch right there, but I wanted to make that connection.
They did bring in my guy Orlovsky though to replace Curtis Painter towards the end of the year.
Yeah, but I think that was Painter was hurt.
That was a deep depression, though, because that was right after Peyton left.
It was so bad.
Deep depression.
Peyton was still on the team.
No, but that was
that was not the same year.
Yeah, he was hurt. That was the year he missed. He was on the
he
team. That's the year we went 1 or 2-14, and
that's
the year
right.
before we drafted Luck.
Yeah, so we still had Peyton.
Yeah,
but still, I mean, we knew it was coming.
Yeah, it was
because he was injured, and we're like, oh shit, here we go.
And they were like, he may never play a down of football again.
So what we needed was that hometown hero.
John, to get away from football, especially since we kind of have, since we're talking about Curtis Painter.
Harvey Weinstein.
Jesus Christ, you guys. I don't know, man. Excited to hear a little bit more about your hip hop thing you got going on, and I always talk about doing the thing that you like to do, and that's what I am about fantasy football, and that's why I do this. I mean, right now I'm doing what I like to do, and I'm happy to hear that you're doing as well. Like, what you got going on in your hip hop career right now?
Well, basically, we're just kind of getting back into it. We did it maybe for about a good 6 years, from when I was 18 to probably when I was 24.
So is this in a group? Like, say you're like, give your shout outs here with
it was really. I mean, now it's more me, so I'm giving shout outs to myself.
There we go.
But I mean, really, like it was a group thing. We did it. I mean, like we opened up for Juicy J. We opened up for massive artists and stuff. We did shows everywhere. We toured a lot of colleges and stuff. So we performed at IU, We went to Kentucky. We went to Ball State. I mean, we did shows
Bloomington's
everywhere.
dope, right?
Bloomington's super dope. Yeah.
Well, Ryan's a Hoosier, so
Yeah.
It's my alma mater.
That's awesome.
It's
You
a
went
good
to
time.
Ball State to play there. That was my alma mater
Was it?
as
Yeah.
well. Yeah. You said you had big news the other day on Facebook, and I don't know that I caught like what.
It was more of, so right now I'm doing a collaboration with Buffalo Fanatics. So it was, I'm
Hell yeah.
running their Snapchat right now. They're
Yeah.
a big like Bills fan page, basically.
Yeah.
Probably second to like.
Yeah, I'm hoping people will see that, and we could tag.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Juice
Oh,
and
yeah.
me in that.
do a little like
And-
video right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did one right
Yeah,
before we
yeah,
got
nice.
on the podcast,
Yeah.
but I'll do one right before
Yeah,
the end of it.
hell
too.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they let me get a hold of their Snapchat and stuff. I told them I was going to be on with you guys. I mean,
Nice.
So if you go to Buffalo Fanatics Snapchat, that like everything you're posting
everything
is on
I'm
there
posting
is,
today
is on
yeah.
their shit today.
I posted a little
Right
bit
on,
before
man.
we came in here earlier when we were messing around.
And,
I was
and
just
Odie was
more active.
saying, "Go Colts."
Yeah, there was some crazy guy, man. I swear, he was just yelling, top of his lungs.
I've been told I yell when I speak, so
Yeah, I was told to turn your-
actually yelling, so I'm sure you found it pretty loud.
I was told to turn your mic down before we got in here. So
Well, you know, they call me the microphone, the megaphone, the loudmouth, you know. But I did grow up with 6 women in the house, so I was used to
so you
talking
gotta
over
talk over
everyone.
them.
Right.
So with the hip hop stuff, like what's the next move?
I just started probably about a year ago, just getting back into it. I've been recording and producing myself. Like I said, it's just all me now. Just kind of put like everyone else out of the equation.
There's a lot of good stuff going on in India.
Tag us in some
Yeah,
of your
India's-
stuff too.
My
This
man
is
Aaron
awesome.
Easton, if I could give him a shout out, I don't know
Yeah,
if you've
oh,
ever
yeah.
collabed with Aaron, but he's doing
No.
some big stuff right now
I
locally
mean,
here.
the local Indiana scene is outrageous, dude. But it's just like a fact of just getting like the attention and the publicity. Like nobody cares. Like
Yeah.
really, like Fountain Square, dude. Like all the stuff that's going on there and all the shows that they do and like art shows and everything. I mean, it's like it's crazy, you know, to think about like that type of atmosphere.
Well, I think it's
that they have
becoming
going on
more.
there.
That's where I live.
I think it's
That's where
becoming
you live?
more
Yeah,
and
it's
more
awesome.
more intimate settings like that. And then also at the same time, I just had Eddie Blake on the podcast like a couple weeks ago. He's a guy that's in Indy, like trying to be an artist and stuff like that. And he actually posted on his Spotify. He was like, 9 out of like the top 10 artists. There's 10 artists in Indianapolis that are better than those guys that we're listening to on the radio
it's
right
outrageous. It's outrageous. There is some serious talent. Like, I mean, of course, I'm at the top of the list, but
There you
everyone
go.
else,
Keep it up.
crazy talent. I mean, like, seriously though, from when I had started doing it, like from when I was 18 to now, the scene is just outrageous. I
now.
mean,
How old are you now?
I'm 27.
So
Yeah.
you got a little bit of
27 too.
time in the game.
We're the same age.
Pounded. When's your birthday?
September 24th, 1991.
February 28th, 1991.
91s.
Who else is born in 1991?
I graduated in 1992 from high school.
I'm an 80s baby.
North
so I
Central.
got
North
nothing.
Central. North
I was
Central
shitting my
Panthers.
pants in 1992.
You went to North Central? So here we go. John, who's with us from the Bills Mafia, he went to North Central with.
I actually went the same year that who was it, Eric Gordon? Is that who?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, who's
he
from
was a
North Central?
senior and
See
I
that
was
fight
a
he got in
junior
last
there.
night?
Yeah, dude.
Dope.
Rondo he punched some dead in his face. That was awesome because you never get that anymore ever.
Rondo punched him.
Yeah.
We don't poke around here.
No, he punched him right in the face.
By the way, who's going to the table today?
Who's going to the table?
Somebody's
Going
got
through
to.
a table.
I've got an extra table I brought just for that.
Cool.
For that
Think
thing.
Smiley's
All right,
volunteering.
Facebook
No, I'm good.
It's
It's got to be a Colts fan. No, it's got to be. Bills
Facebook
fans
Live,
put
demand
people
it.
through tables.
Paulie Sleepers would like to say they do not condone or recommend any jumping through
I want to see
tables.
somebody do like the people's elbow through the table. Like
I want to see Undertaker's tombstone.
Dude, I'm surprised.
By the
there
way, he
isn't-
still wrestles.
I'm surprised
Him and
there isn't
Shawn
more
Michaels have a
tailgating going
match
on
next
around
month.
here.
Can you
There's
believe
more-
that?
there's-
Like more tailgating going
right,
on around here.
especially like around here. This is usually the busy
Like I said,
area.
I think a lot of people had the storm damage, and it was really cold this morning. And there's a little bit more fair weather stuff going
Bills
on.
fan
there.
Conrad right here.
coming in here.
Good.
My buddy from Germany.
So
He's
this
a Bills
might be,
fan
now that
from
we got
Germany.
two Bills guys.
Is that why he's a Bills fan? Because he doesn't know about NFL football?
He got.
I played.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he
Are you
does.
from Germany? Ever?
What?
Stat of the
Oh,
day?
nice.
Ever?
No.
Okay, so
Frankfurt?
can I give you guys a stat of the day?
Yeah.
Legit. That's
All right, so Buffalo, stat of the day, right?
Eric
This is why
Ebron,
you went and signed Derek
23
Anderson.
yards.
So
That's the stat
Nathan
of the day.
Peterman, right? His interception percentage for him and Tom Brady's to be equal, Tom Brady would have to throw an interception on his next 1,000 passes in a row. For their interception percentage to be equal.
That is a good stat.
I mean, there's a lot larger sample size with Tom Brady.
How bad do you have to be that? I mean, Peterman is healthy.
Yeah.
For them to just be like, okay, here, just grab
That's not fake news. You can fact check it.
Hey,
Peterman, since I've been watching the Bills, is the worst Bills quarterback we've ever had.
Might be the worst quarterback the NFL's ever had.
Taking it very lightly.
And that's actually a big sample size of suck, too, that you're saying he surpasses all of that.
But the major thing is
I'd rather
with
have
Peterman,
Tyrod Taylor right now.
Well, the thing with Peterman is that he can perform so well in like a practice setting or in a preseason setting, but I mean, you put the man on the football field, and it's like, I don't know if the lights get to him. I don't know what it is. He loses his mind. We're talking about practice. But, I mean, that's the whole reason why he won the starting job and why they even felt comfortable trading A.J. McCarron to Oakland.
Right.
Because, I mean, it was Nathan Peterman. They were like, maybe that first game, he threw 5 interceptions and a half, but he was a rookie. First NFL game against the Chargers. But, I mean, they thought for sure it was going to end up turning out a different way. That's the reason why they kind of made those moves. And now with Derek Anderson, they just kind of got caught with their pants down, and they're just scrambling trying to bring somebody.
We think the Colts front office is bad. How long had it been since the Bills had made the playoffs?
1 year, because we made it last year.
No, I'm saying last year.
He's saying before that.
Before
17.
that. 17 years, and then they go and they trade both the quarterbacks on the roster that got him there.
Odie's getting very critical of the Bills right now.
I mean, we're in the playoffs last year, and the Colts weren't. So
he's asking those tough questions.
He's also very critical. He's also very critical of the Colts, though, too.
There you go.
I mean, he did call T.Y. Hilton the diva receiver, which I don't feel like is very true.
He's very critical. Your team even? That's outrageous.
Don't get me started. I grew up on Reggie.
How do you guys feel about Andrew Luck, though, in all honesty?
Dude,
I hear mixed opinions from Colts fans. I love Andrew Luck.
The last few years, I actually was on the trade him train. Like, just trade him.
I was praying that was happening because we were one of the teams on the list.
We don't want like a Derrick Rose on our team. He's hurt again.
He's hurt again.
It's just you're wasting 5 years.
Yeah,
I just want a real answer on whose decision it was.
Who let him go snowboard?
That's true. But
how insane! And he's just like, "Fuck it, I'm going to tell everybody."
They know about it though.
Now that I'm playing,
he's just like, "Oh, I'm going snowboarding."
Yeah.
Any sports fan in the world has heard of Dr. James
before.
Andrews.
What's that?
Every sports fan in the world has heard of Dr. James Andrews.
Yeah.
That's who does shoulder, elbow, arm surgeries. That's not who did Andrews.
Yeah, it was the Stanford doc, right?
His own guy that does hips.
Yeah.
He was a hip surgeon specialist
who
operated on Luck's shoulder.
That's a great point. You've redeemed yourself.
That's a very deep pull right there.
You're pulling some good stuff.
So I'm just saying.
That's very true. I tweeted about it and talked about it this summer. There is some fault to be blamed on Luck just himself because he chose his doc and he wanted a doc he was comfortable with rather than someone who's comfortable with the surgery. You just go to James Andrews if you have that surgery. But we'll have to see he's on pace to break the record for attempts set by Matthew Stafford in like 03 or 05.
Which is not good for a quarterback.
Which is not good, so you
got to
think that
Let's just throw that out there.
His arm is going to frickin' fall off. So I'm really scared there. We got to get this running game going badly.
Because it's crazy to me.
So
are you guys all into the Le'Veon Bell ball game? Is that what we're all anticipating?
What are we going to get with
he'll come back week 10. Yeah,
Week 10?
He'll come back week 10 because that's not 1 minute
put him on the Colts.
That's what I believe he was asking.
Yeah.
That's what he was saying, and I'm all for it. I was the number one.
Think he'll
and they
be.
say we're not one player away, but we're
Bell
one
coming to the
Bell
Colts.
away.
Yeah. And that's all pretty much stemming from him following us on Instagram.
Yeah,
and
even outside, he comments on like Colts feeds all the time.
Yeah,
and like,
heavy.
He's into it.
Him and Ebron have a romance going on.
I mean, my problem with Bell is the money you have to spend on him. I don't think we are a Le'Veon Bell away from really contending. I think there are a few teams that are, and I think those are the teams that
are going to pay up for it.
Yeah,
well, Colts are at 119 for cap space next year.
If we
they got so much money
on the cap, I mean, which I think we have to, or we're going to lose it.
Yeah,
you don't
might
think
as well
Andrew
spend it
Luck?
on Le'Veon.
We want to build through the draft, but also, I mean, there's all that cap money. So next year, if we could just, I mean, I'm never a big fan of that either, though. When you get that super team together, the chemistry rarely, matches up right away. And I mean, we've seen it before with Philly and some of these other teams. It's just,
I think we got a good GM now.
Do we though?
I think so. I think he's making the right choices.
Because all of his picks last year missed. Every single pick he made, he missed.
Everyone?
Every single
This year?
Kelly?
last year. No,
Or no, last
well,
year.
Kelly's
Not Kelly.
Kelly's
Not Kelly. Not Kelly.
Ryan Kelly. Yeah, that was a
no,
first round pick.
I'm not saying Ryan Kelly. I'm sorry. The guy from Notre Dame, Quentin Nelson.
Hooker's
Quentin
made
Nelson?
like 3 tackles since he's been here.
Oh, he's talking about last
Hooker's
year's
a good
draft.
defensive
Hooker's a
player.
starter. I wouldn't
He's
count
a
that as a
stud.
miss.
I'm just saying.
I think he's
I
great.
think we've been a
Very
little
critical. I
quick
think
to
you're
anoint Chris
overcritical on
Ballard
this.
as a great GM, and I don't know.
I don't want to say he's great. I'm just saying he's better than.
He's better than Grigson by a mile.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, is
anybody's
poop better than
Grigson.
diarrhea?
Yeah.
I mean,
I would say so.
Yeah.
I mean, a solid BM.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty happy about that.
I
Right.
mean, there's multiple types. So we're talking about the submarine. We're talking about the turtle head.
But my whole point is,
the
in Chicago,
disappearing like magic one where you like poop forever and then there's nothing in the toilet?
Yeah, the Titanic.
in Chicago, he was drafting guys. In Kansas City, he was drafting guys. It's still early here, but his first draft, which was the Ryan Kelly, not Ryan Kelly,
Quentin
Malik
Nelson.
Hooker. Malik Hooker
Yeah.
was his first draft last year. Malik Hooker, if I'm not mistaken, him and one of the corners that we drafted in like the 5th or 6th.
Quincy Wilson was second round.
Wilson's up. He's done. He's done.
I think he's a good player. He's got to get games together.
Pagano wouldn't even play him.
Dude, I think we need to have Odie on the podcast more just because how much he challenges everybody. It makes it
I'm not
better.
saying that.
It's
With
conflict.
Quincy Wilson.
But hear me out here. So there's
Conflict
literally
sells.
2 players, maybe 3, from his draft class last year that have made the roster 1 year later. This year, he drafted Quentin Nelson, which is a no-brainer. Okay. But I don't know if I love the rest of the picks. I think Darius Leonard is, oh my God. Darius Leonard is a monster. And if that's the one thing that Chris Ballard can hang his hat on, because I think Darius Leonard has a chance to be the next Ray Lewis.
Yeah,
he does.
But, and he might. And that's one thing that, that ups his track record, I guess. But I think since he's been in Indy, he's missed more than he's hit.
Yeah.
It's only 2 years though.
We have the youngest I think host of the Juice in the Morning podcast joining us right
Welcome,
now.
sir.
How are you doing today, buddy?
Good.
Good.
So I got to ask you, who's your favorite Buffalo Bills player, past and present? Ever.
Who's the greatest Buffalo Bills quarterback?
Jim Kelly.
There you go.
He's the second best.
He
He
knows
coaches
his,
for the Colts right now.
he knows his stuff.
He was Jim Kelly's backup.
He was Jim Kelly's back.
I like the swag you got going on. You got the Buffalo Bills sweatshirt and T-shirt. How you doing today, man? What do you think's going to happen today? You think the Buffalo Bills are going to win or the Colts?
The Buffalo Bills.
Why do you think that?
Because they're the bestest football players.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's a solid answer.
Tough to argue with that.
Especially when you're playing the Colts.
Yeah,
Colts
everybody
don't
looks the
do very
bestest
well
against us. Are you guys excited to be here? I mean, welcome to Indy, and I'm so glad you guys decided to come on.
Is this your first Colts
What's
game?
your son's name?
My second.
John?
I'll tell you about my first one. His name is Cameron.
Cameron.
Yeah.
Okay.
First Colts game I went to. It was Andrew Luck's rookie year. We played here. My mom paid $800 for tickets.
Oh,
50
I
yard
thought my
line.
30 today was bad. Jesus.
50-yard line. We were 2 rows behind the Bills bench.
Oh,
And the Bills lost, of course.
Oh, yeah.
The Bills. And Fitzpatrick was our quarterback back then,
Ball.
too.
Magic man right there.
You and him kind of got the same beard.
Yeah, that's what I'm going for, dude. I'm trying to rekindle something. After throwing 400 yards in 3
bro. You need the
consecutive
swag.
games, I need Fitz back, dude. For real.
Gosh.
Crazy thing, too, I didn't even know this until the other day. Derek Anderson and Fitz came out the same year, and I think they were drafted in, like, the same round, too.
That's wild.
Wow.
So it's pretty cool that they're kind of like in that same category because if you really think of someone that Derek Anderson reminds you of, it's like Fitzpatrick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He can give you those good games, but at the same time, he can be somebody outrageous that throws for 400 yards, or he can throw for 120.
Well, I've always
and
said it
3
for a
picks,
long
so.
time. There's always that. There's always those 2 or 3 games that a quarterback has when he takes over a team that there's potential for them to blow up.
There's no
Because there's no
potential
film on
today
him.
for Derek Anderson. I mean,
like I'm looking.
The guy can obviously still throw a football.
I always say, like, I mean, I already made my prediction that it's a low-scoring game, but I mean, if we go in there and it's like a 40-30 situation, I'm going to be so happy because I love to see exciting games.
Oh, yeah,
I don't want to see a fucking snooze fest where we're sitting there running the ball into the line and then everybody like punting and man, get the kickers off the field. Come on.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
I'm not for the
brand.
I'm
man.
not for the brand.
Really, in like something that I heard this morning too, like to make it in the NFL this long as a quarterback in general, I mean, you got something going for you.
Yeah.
You know, like it's tough to make it this long in the league. Period. So
it's absolutely shocking to see guys that are in there like Vinatieri. I mean, Vinatieri's been in there. We actually have potential to see history be made today. If he scores 10 points.
All-time leading scorer, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
If Adam Vinatieri hits that, I mean, that would make this so much, like, I mean, just make it a huge event.
I'd get my $30 worth.
Being here when he hit that field goal that made the most field goals in history, it was pretty cool because everybody here out on the field and congratulated him, and the whole place stood up for him. So it was pretty cool to see that moment. It's just being cooler today.
Yeah, I would love to see
J.J. Watt.
Yeah, we're wrapping it up right now. We're hitting 30 minutes, so we got an hour podcast. So it was a great time. Shane wasn't able to make it. He had stuff going on. John wasn't able to make it, but we love both those guys. We appreciate him.
And Jackson
also, having some issues as well. We love you guys. We appreciate you guys being a part of the team. But we're going to enjoy our night or our afternoon. I don't know, man. I'm already starting to get a buzz.
I'm not. My girlfriend's going to beat me in fantasy.
John, you want to throw your shout-outs?
I want to hear.
Oh, yeah. So, one, at Del Reed. That's the founder of Bills Mafia, by the way.
Yes. I've
follow
been
him on
before.
Twitter.
Yes.
Also,
he declined my invitation.
Instagram, at Buffalo Fanatics, or on Twitter, it's at Buff Fanatics. And then you can check me out. I'm at Porter-John D2 on either or. In my bio, you'll see a link to my music and stuff like that, too. So
I would like for you to send us some links to your stuff.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And
he'd like for yous to send him some links.
Yous guys.
This little guy's getting into it now, right?
Oh, yeah. He's already got like some swag to him.
Who's your favorite rapper, little guy?
Here we go. Drum roll. Who is it?
Best ever.
Favorite rapper?
It's a tough question.
Who's your favorite music artist?
John.
I was waiting for him to say my daddy. But
question.
he said
I thought he was going to say Drake.
Good question.
In all honesty,
I'd have to go Notorious B.I.G.
That's
right?
there we go. That's a drop the
but
mic
Ryan,
situation.
thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah.
And very nice to meet you.
Ryan, get back in
Smiley's
the studio.
I know. I've been on a hiatus, but I'm ready to get back in
He's
here.
a busy guy.
I've got into teaching, man.
Well, let us know Wednesday nights. We record. Smiley, thanks for coming back. You're 3 shows in a row now.
Yeah.
I do got to go.
You
guys.
just like come out. You're like you're just like.
Thanks, buddy. Have a good one.
Coming out of third string.
Yeah, man. But we'd love to have you, man. And Odie,
He's a practice squad
guys.
sign.
thanks for coming on, man. You had some interesting
We
insights.
need to do one from my restaurant.
Yeah.
Moe's,
Dude.
Southwest Grill.
I need to buy one of these.
You got your shout out in there, Moe's Southwest Grill.
Everybody come and get your
And,
bag of donuts.
I'm at Paulie Sleepers on Twitter, at Paulie Sleepers, pauliesleepers.com with our DraftKings cash and tournament lineups.
Going to win some money today.
Follow Juice in the Morning. Subscribe everywhere you can get your podcasts. And
dude, you can listen to us.
Facebook is Juice.
You can listen
Juice
to us
morning,
on
right?
anything. Spotify. If you're listening right now, your Alexa. If you tell your Alexa, "Hey Alexa, play Juice in the Morning," it'll play it. So
I don't hang
that's
out
pretty
with
darn
terrorists,
cool.
so I
Let's
don't
do
have
it.
an Alexa.
Let's do it right now.
Cool.
So once again, this is the live 2018 Colts versus Bills Tailgate podcast. Thank you for joining us, guys. Thanks, John. I appreciate it.
Thank you,
and,
guys. I appreciate
you guys have a fantastic day of football.
Let's go, Colts!
Peace
Go
out,
Bills!
guys.
Juice in the morning. Juice in the morning. Juice in the morning.